Hi folks, how are you doing? Hope you're keeping well. I plan to do another maybe one or two of these perhaps before we hit the end of the year. But today I thought I'd tackle something that I've been really wanting to do since we started the year. I was always kind of hoping we'd get to this point, but I'm going to be a bit brave here and try and do something that I'm not particularly good at, which is modeling people. So I'm going to try and model human character shape today, and we're going to rig it up so that it could be posed or animated later on. And as I say, I find, I can make things that are, TVs and couches and stuff, no problem. But when it comes to modeling a person, it seems all my instincts go out the window. But anyway, we're going to give it a go because I really wanted to try it out. And we're going to use an add-in today to help us rig the model. And that one's called Rigify. And I have it added, but you won't, but I'll show you how to do it. So you just go to Edit and down to Preferences and look along the side here for the add-ons. And in the search box there, I've already typed it in, but just type in Rig and then look for Rigging, Rigify, and just make sure the tick box there is ticked. And that'll allow you, when you come back in here, if you hit Add, Armature, Basic, and Basic Human Meta Rig there. And what you will see is that it's added, let me just hide this cube for a minute, it's added this meta rig here that we can use to model against. So these are all bones that can be used to pose the model. So when we build a model and we attach it to the rig, it will then, when we pose the rig, it will then stretch the model around as if it was attached to the bones underneath. Very much kind of like how a skeleton works in a human body. Right, so let's bring our cube back. Let's call it, first of all, human, like that. Okay, and let's hit Tab to go into edit mode, and let's jump to a front view by clicking up here. So let's scale it down a bit. I'm going to make this the chest, and let's just G, Z, let's bring it up in Z there till it's about kind of level with the top of the shoulders. All right, so it's a little bit wide. Let's scale it in X, S, X. Oh, I forgot my screencast key, so let's try and put those on. That should help. Okay, cool. All right, so just scale it in a bit. And now let's jump to another side view here with X. It's very, very big in the Y direction. Let's scale it in Y as well. Let's make it a bit narrower like that. Okay. All right, so that's not looking too terrible. So let's hit Control R for an edge loop. And let's put an edge loop right up the center there. Just right click to leave it in the middle. And we want to take off one side of this mesh and we're going to put a mirror in instead. So let's make sure we're in vertex select mode up here, or hit 1 on the keyboard. And let's make sure we're in X-ray over here so that we can just box select all of those on that side and then just X vertices. That'll get rid of that half there. All right, and then we can pop over to the modifier panel here and we'll add a mirror modifier back in again. All right, I'm going to switch X-ray back off again for a bit. Okay, cool. All right, so we've got a bit of a basic shape going on there. So let's just maybe create another edge loop across the center here. Bring it up a bit for the chest and going to select edge select mode here. Go select that one, just that edge there, and I'm going to bring it just G and Y just to bring it out a little bit, just to bring it out a bit for the chest. And again, then this one here being the waist. Let's go into face select mode, so 3, or select up here, and let's just scale that just a little bit just to cinch it in. Oh, sorry, I forgot to switch clipping on my mirror modifier, so make sure you've got that set. And let's scale that again. Yeah, that looks better. So just bring that in a little bit. Okay, maybe that waist is a bit high, So let's just G, Z to bring it down a bit. Not so bad. All right. Now let's just extrude E, and let's bring that down for the pelvis. All right. And then maybe just G a little bit more. And then what I want to do is I want to maybe scale this in X, scale X, just to bring that in like that. Maybe even a bit more, scale X. All right. That'll give us some edges there that we can start to bring the legs off of. Okay. And then the other thing we're going to do is might just take edge select mode 2 and just select these down the middle, and then just G, Y, and just bring them out a little bit. Okay, that'll just help kind of round the front of the body out. And again, we might scale in these ones on the side. So I'm going to face select or 3, and we'll select these 3. And again, I might just scale Y just to bring those down a bit in size. Again, just to give a bit of more roundness to the body. Okay, not looking too terrible. Okay, so let's start looking maybe to take the legs out. So let's, again, face select mode, and we'll select that face there. And let's snap back to the front view. So let's extrude E. Okay, just let that extrude out the side. Then once extruded, let's just G to move it, and or to rotate it until it's about there. G. And then let's scale it in X, S, X, just until it's not so crazily wide. Maybe G again. Okay, let's have a look from the side. All right, immediately I kind of see that doesn't, kind of looks very skinny from the side. This is where I'm not good at this. So let's scale in Y. I can bring it out a bit. Okay, and I'm going to go to vertex load select mode number 1. I'm going to take that vertex, and I'm going to GY just to try and bring that out again as well, just to fix that shape a bit because it's all looking very peculiar. All right, maybe that, and again at the back, GY. All right, that doesn't look too terrible. It's a bit terrible, but not too terrible. All right, so let's hit 3 for face select mode again, and select that face there. I'm going to go back to this front view again, and I'm going to E to extrude, and I'm going to bring it down towards the knee. And I'm just going to S scale it in a little bit. Now let's snap to the side view again. And you can see that the skeleton, the knee comes forward a bit and then back. Let me hide the cube for a minute and see. So the thigh comes down, it comes forward as it comes down, and then goes back again to the heel. So let's take this, let's just do G and just bring that so it's a little bit forward. And I might as well or rotate it just a little bit so it's across the knee joint like that. All right, not too bad. Let's hit E again and extrude down. Again, that's pretty good. It's along the knee, but it's a little bit, just to get to the ankle bone there. I might just G to bring it forward a little bit to follow that line a bit better. And I'm just going to or rotate it till it's about approximately flat. And then again, scale S just to bring it a little bit more. Let's have a look from the front. That's not too bad. I might just go G and just move it back a bit that way. And it's pretty level. Yeah, so that's not too bad. So that's the kind of the lower leg. So again, it's E to extrude down, bring the heel down. I'm just going to or rotate to make it pretty flat and snap to the front. And again, I'm going to or there just so it looks pretty flat. Looks pretty good. I might just G to bring it down to the ground. And that's pretty good. So then I'm going to select through and make sure I've got this front face selected. I'm going to that side view and E and just bring the foot out like that. And I'm going to scale, just to scale it down, and G just to bring it down level to the ground. So look on the front. Okay, narrowed it in too much. So I'm just going to scale it in X to widen it out again, and scale it in Z to bring it, just to narrow it for the toes, and G just to bring it down to the ground. There we go. That's not too terrible. Okay, we're getting a bit of a shape going. Okay, so now let's look at the arms and shoulders. So let's select that one there, and let's go into that front view. So we want to E again, extrude, and actually we want to maybe just to there maybe, and then G, we'll just bring it up a little bit on its way out of the shoulders, and I'm just going to scale that back a bit. Let's have a look at that, how that looks. Not too bad, not too bad. All right, so let's R though to rotate it around a bit, and maybe G again. So just kind of, I'm looking for it to be kind of center enough to that spot there, and again from the top G to move it back a bit, so that part of the bone there is roughly in the center of that face. That's not too bad. Okay, cool. All right, so let's extrude again now for the upper arm, E. Okay, it's going to go off in the wrong direction, but that's grand. Again, I'm just going to go S first of all to scale it back a little bit. And then I'm going to go G and bring it down towards that joint, and R just to flatten across the joint a bit. Now let's look from the top because it'll be wrong. It is. So let's go G again to bring it back to there about, and R a little bit maybe if we think we need it. Back to the front view. G is going to keep tweaking it. Top view again. Yeah, that's pretty good. That's pretty good. Okay, cool. So back to the front view. So now we'll extrude down for the lower arm. So E again, down to about there. G. Again, I'm just going to scale back a bit. S. And G. There. Let's have a look. Pretty good again. Again, it might just be a little bit big. I'll come back a bit. It's going to be a wrist. Scale it back. Cool. All right. And finally, we'll extrude the hand. So let's E again. Extrude that out. Let's look from the top. G to move it. I'm going to just kind of flatten it over a bit. And so the hand is now a little bit not the wrong sort of shape. So let's flatten vertically. Scale Z. Just to flatten it towards the tips of the fingers. But we'd also like it to be kind of wider in the palm. So I'm going to go Control R and put a loop cut in and bring it up near the top there. And now I'm going to go 3, face select, and Alt. Select that whole loop around there. Let's just scale Y, SY. That's a little bit more hand-like. Cool. And if we'd like a thumb, I can do another Control R and just bring that one back a bit there. And then 3 face select that face. I'm just going to go top view and just extrude that out. And maybe G, just to move it over a bit. Let's have a look from this view, front view. Oh, it's very big that way. So scale in Z just to narrow it down. Just rotate it too. It's all kind of skewed. No, I can't easily do that. What I'll do is I'll just select vertex mode. I'll select these 2 vertices, and I'll just G to move those until the shape's a bit less crazy. Okay, cool. That's probably still a little bit, the hand's probably still a little bit heavy there, but it's okay. It's close enough. Yeah, I'm happy enough with it. It's grand. Now let's look to handle the neck. So probably wouldn't hurt if we had another loop cut up the body here. So let's put one in. Control R there. All right, so now we can start forming the loop from this face here, the neck, because we didn't want the neck to start from out here. So let's snap into the front view. Let's extrude up And let's scale it in X, scale X, just taper it in. Let's look at the side view. And now we definitely want to scale it a lot in Y, scale Y. And then we want to maybe G to move, bring it forward a bit, and rotate it a bit as well, just to kind of get that tilt. Not too bad, okay. And then let's extrude up again to this bone here and rotate. Just going to bring that vertical. And then I'm going to extrude up one more time, just G again to keep it in line, and rotate just to flatten it out a bit. And then E one more time to the top. So that I've created this sort of bit in the middle, which is I'm going to just expand that for the head. So let's make sure we're in face select mode, and then Alt, click there to get that loop. And then we're going to scale it S, but not in Z, Shift Z, just to expand that. Okay, and that maybe is our basic person figure. It's a little bit rough, but it's not too bad. What we might consider doing now is we could throw a subdivision surface on it. Let's get down subdivision surface, and let's up the number of viewport divisions to 2. And let's click on the object and shade smooth. Right, so that's not looking too terrible. A little bit skinny, a little bit more alien than human, but it's not terrible. All right, cool. So that's our human figure built. Considering I'm not too unhappy with it. You can go back and start tweaking it a bit more if you want to. You know, for example, the head seems very narrow, so I might just select that face at the side and just G just to move it out a bit. That's not too bad. And maybe even I might bring the face forward a bit. Yeah, it's a little bit better. Okay, cool. Okay, so that's the human figure done. So now, how do we rig it? So let's go down to, oh, hang on, sorry. I don't think, I'm looking at the bones here. I don't think that our knee is far forward enough. So let me just go into edit mode. And let's just select these vertices just around the knee here. And let's just move them. No, that didn't work. Didn't select enough of them. I have to select all of those. There we go, around the knee. Side view again. And let's just G. Let's get that bend a little bit better. And maybe just scale it just a tiny bit just to widen it at the knee. All right. That's probably close enough. Okay. And yeah, that's just tweaking. You don't have to do any of that. I just wanted to kind of improve it a little bit. All right. So let's go to our meta rig here, and let's use that now to generate an actual rig. So this is not a rig; it's a meta rig for generating rigs from. So you'll see it's got this. Sorry, we should make sure we're in object mode. So on this panel here, it's got generate rig. So when we hit that, it's going to actually build a rig based off of the meta rig. So we're now done with the meta rig actually, and I can just delete it, get rid of it, and just keep the rig. So now we've got a rig and it's ready to be posed, but we have to attach the human model to it. So select the human first, then control and click on the rig so that both are selected. And the human should be orange, the rig should be that brighter orange. Make sure the color, that way this one's the active one. They're both selected, but the rig is active. So the bright orange should be the rig. And then go to Object, Parent, and choose with automatic weights. And now the human is under the rig model, joined to it. So if we select the rig model and now go into pose mode, you're going to see all of these controls are available for helping to pose the model. So this one, if I select it and maybe hit G and Z, controls the hips. It's pretty good. Let's just bring the hips down a little bit. These ones here on the hands and feet are what's called inverse kinematic ones, which means that basically if you pose the hand or foot, the arms and the rest of the body move with it, which is really handy. So if I just maybe hit G on that one, you can see it's moving the hand, moving the hand. That's something that could do with rotating the hand a bit. So just do or Z just to rotate the hand as well a little bit around Z. Again, let's bring the foot up. Let's go to a side view maybe. Hit G to raise the foot. And let's maybe G, slide that foot back a bit. And maybe G, Z, bring the hips down a bit more. All right, so there's a bit of wonkiness around there, but it's not terrible. Let's turn the head a little bit, or Z to rotate the head a little bit. We don't have features on the head, so it's not going to be too obvious, but so if you've managed all that, congratulations. You've successfully rigged a character and posed him. Let's go back to object mode. So that's pretty advanced stuff. So I hope you followed along with that. I hope you got the same results I did, and I hope you had some fun with it. Possibly a bit of a longer video this. I'm not sure how long I've been recording for, but have a go, and do get in touch if you have any bother, and I'll try and help you out. Again, not my particular expertise this, but hopefully occasionally you'll find bits of the body don't get attached properly and fly off, so hopefully that won't happen. But if you follow the proportions of the rig like I did, that's less likely to happen. All right, bye folks, and I hope I'll see you again before we hit the summertime.